welcome back to Adorabuild. My name is Ruth and my little dog is called Pucky. And I'd also like to make a very special welcome to those of you who are new to my channel. So welcome to all the newbies. It's great having you here. Now, as you have probably seen by the thumbnail and the title of this video, we are going to be checking out some of my favourite Disney princess castles. And recently on one of my live streams I did build a few of the Disney princess castles, and during that live stream one of my lovely viewers did suggest to make a Disney princess castle street, and so I thought it would be really fun to do more of a Castle Crescent, just because then that's a little CC pun, and also because my dining table is round I needed to make sure that it was a bendy road like a crescent. Now, full disclaimer, I haven't been able to use all the Disney princess sets that I actually have, so there are some of the princesses and queens that are missing. But if you guys are like this style of video, I'm sure that I can put together a part 2 at some stage or another to include some of the princesses that do happen to be missing. The other thing that is kind of cool about this is that some of these builds are actually my own creation, so my MOCs, and some of them are actually the standard official Lego sets. So without too much more rambling at the beginning of my video, let's go and take a look at all of these magnificent castles on this crescent in more detail. So here we have all the castle sets that I have decided to use for this particular Disney Princess Castle Crescent. Let's go through one by one and run through which princesses are included in this particular street. This is the little build that I have put together for Moana, and I do have Moana here in the middle. I've got little Hey Hey over here. Pua the pig is over in that little corner. We've got Maui over here and Te Fiti represented here as well. We've also got the crazy little coconut people down the front. I actually really still love this build, and I think that this little island representation would look really cute and really cool in a city build at some stage or another, just off the coast of say a beach or something like that. So let's now move on. So here is my version of Castle Dunbroch. This was kind of based on the only Merida set that we have received so far, but also then modified to look more like the castle did in the film. I did include Angus down here. I really wanted to make sure that Merida had her beautiful trusty horse, and then in the official Merida set we also got her triplet brothers as little bears as well, so I decided to pop them up on the castle turret. Obviously, if you want to see either Moana or Merida builds in more detail, you can go and check out the videos on them. Keep in mind that they were my earlier videos, so I'm still quite nervous and getting the hang of YouTube, and I'll leave them linked in the description box below. Next up, let's take a look at Sleeping Beauty. So this particular build was one that I did build on the live stream, and I think that this is such a pretty castle with the greys and the pinks. I also was able to find one of my Aurora mini dolls in my collection, as well as the fairy godmother as well. A little while ago we did get Sleeping Beauty's carriage, which I did end up modifying so that she could actually have a horse-drawn carriage, which I thought was really cute too. So I'll also leave this particular video linked in the description box below. One of my favourite parts of this particular build is the beautiful spinning wheel that we actually get in the interior of this castle. Next up, let's take a look at Rapunzel. Now, getting footage of this particular tower is probably going to be a little bit tricky, but again, this is the most recent Rapunzel Tower that we have received, and this doesn't have any modifications, much like the Sleeping Beauty and the Cinderella castles as well. I did find one of my favourite Rapunzel mini dolls, as well as the gorgeous little chameleon, and of course I did have to include Flynn Rider down below, as well as Cassandra and the travelling caravan too. Next up, let's take a look at Cinderella. So here is Cinderella's castle, which is again such a pretty castle. I love the lavender colours, and I think that the navy looks really gorgeous with it as well. Some of the designs that I absolutely love about this particular castle is the beautiful clock, as well as the gorgeous glass slipper on the cushion over here as well. And of course, in order to represent Cinderella fully, I had to include the fairy godmother as well as the beautiful carriage that we've recently received too. So again, a very beautiful official set. No modifications have been done with this yet. Eventually I would like to get hold of the romantic castle that came out quite a few years ago and actually modify those two Cinderella castles together. Moving along to Jasmine. So here we have one of Jasmine's towers. Again, this is a modified build, so I did take a few of the more recent Jasmine sets that we have received when the live action remake came out and put them together into this beautiful rocky castle. I do really love having Jasmine up the top with her little garden area with her beautiful dove and palm trees. In the center here, this was actually based on the Petite Castle set. Normally in this section over here, I do have Jafar, but for this particular residential build I wanted to include Raja instead. And of course down the bottom we do have Aladdin in and amongst all the beautiful stalls. The other thing that I absolutely love about this particular set is the design of the flying carpet up the top here too. Moving along, lucky last, let's take a look at Ariel. So here is Ariel's underwater castle, and I think that it is absolutely stunning. It is an older build, and I think that some of the colours used and some of the build techniques in this particular set are a little bit dated, but for me I still find it so pretty. I love all the coral that surrounds this build. I love the stickers on these windows, and I was super inspired by Claire from Brick Motion in order to create all of Ariel's sisters as well as Athena, her mother. So that's why I've ended up with a gorgeous little rainbow collection of mermaids in this particular design. I've also made sure that I included Sebastian and Flounder in this little residential area too. So there we have my version of a Disney Princess Castle Crescent, which is meant to be kind of a little bit residential and lots of fun. I think that this is a really lovely way to show off some of my favourite sets and builds from the Disney Princess line so far. So I do hope that you have enjoyed checking out all of these builds and seeing how I could put together a little castle street for some of my Disney princesses. As always, I do really hope that you have enjoyed this video, and if you have, please remember to do all the YouTubey things, the likes, the shares, the comments, the subscribes and the bells. Absolutely always super handy for some of our little smaller channels that happen to be out there. And as always, I do really appreciate chatting to you guys in the comments the most, so feel free to let me know what other princess builds you like to see, what other princess MOCs I could actually go and build, and all of those sorts of wonderful good conversations that we can have in the comments. So until my next video or my next live stream, please take care of yourselves and bye bye!